Millennials in China they always love to shopping online because the delivery and e-business are really popular in China.
Cool.
And for now, millennials in China almost they use WeChat Pay and Alipay, use phone pay because they will got a discount and a cashback.
Oh yeah, and getting a discount is part of Asian culture as well, right? Nobody ever pays regular price, right? Anybody else? Okay, Lena?
So millennials in Egypt don't really pay for their bills, so because of cultural reasons, the parents are like paying for everything, so school, like food, rent, and millennials in Egypt are the most westernized in the Middle East, so they're very aware of like Western culture as well as like their own culture, so they're very diverse.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
Millennials in India are like very family oriented, so they'll technically buy like stuff for the security of the family and the parents.
Okay.
And one for Vietnam is like they are very value authenticity, value like hard work. So another big one is like we want to make sure that the companies that we're attracted to are do have like a very strong values, and they don't take advantage of like the production, or they don't take advantage of like third world countries essentially.
Okay. Cool.
Have very strong values.
Great. Yes.
Millennials in Canada were much more concerned about originality instead of having companies do what each other does or just act fake. We want real companies. We want the real people behind the brand.
Okay, interesting.
So not a lot of, I'm not going to speak out for all Filipinos, but what I've noticed is that since Philippines is reliant on remittance, so the foreign money coming into their economy, a lot of the stuff that we bring back from North America, for example, my family, goes back to Philippines, and that's how a lot of my cousins get their clothes and electronics.
Yeah. MoneyGram and Western Union,
Yeah.
same thing in many Caribbean countries as well.
Hi, being a Somali and a millennial in the Western world, we're all about representation. We're in forms of government, and like in North America, we're in fashion, we're in music, and we're very entrepreneurial. And also, we tend to go back home and help our community since it's been like a war-torn country for the last 20 years, and we try to like invest into like healthcare and schools and help our people out.
Cool.
Portuguese millennials that grew up Catholic are a lot more liberal and free-thinking and free-spirited than the older generations, and we relate to a lot each other on like strict upbringing and those kind of values, and we respond to social responsibility from companies.
Cool. Interesting.
A lot of millennials from like Iraq that kind of grew up here in Canada that were born here are very much more oriented to like the Canadian culture and aren't necessarily off of the values of like their parents, but they still like to appreciate what their parents like have brought for them and their values, but kind of create like the values from like Canada instead of the values of their family.
Yes.
Okay. So in Israel, when men and women turn 18 and they're done high school, they have to go straight to the army. And men stay in the army for 3 years, and then women are there for 2 years. And after that, they can decide if they want to go to college. But most millennials, after they're done in the army, they go touring to other countries.
Cool. Anything you want to add? Okay.
Well, millennials in Latvia, they're really like super attached to family and friends. Also, like titles, name titles, super important for us. So, for example, I can't just say to my prof, "Hey Tim." So, like, it's kind of disrespectful to my country. We usually use like Mr., Mrs., and yeah.
Okay.
Millennials in Venezuela they are very into sport like tennis and soccer. They really like social media, especially YouTube and Instagram. We enjoy being around our closest friend. I would say that they're also like very patriotic, since like my country right now is super bad for the government. So like they used to go to the street and fight for their rights and justice. And they like to meet like new people.
Okay, cool, interesting.
Millennials in Mauritius at this point in time are a bit frustrated with the lack of opportunity in Mauritius in terms of jobs. a lot of them are educated, but university level, but don't have the work opportunities. For fun, they have a huge British soccer fans. There's towns named in the country like Arsenal or Coventry, named with England in mind.
Cool, interesting. So Bajan millennials are very family-oriented, very educated, very disciplined, and we work hard. However, we work to live. We don't live to work. And so when the clock hits 5 on a Friday afternoon, we're going to beach and we're partying good and we're partying hard. We love to order a bottle of rum from the internet, but we don't really have the e-commerce infrastructure. So e-commerce in Barbados is next to non-existent. Cool.
So I was born in Philippines, but raised in a Chinese household. So it's kind of a mixed culture. But millennials in the Philippines that I know of, we focus a lot more on education because for my friends in the Philippines, they spend around like 12 hours just to go through education, and most of the time they're in school rather than they're spending time with family. So education is very important in attracting millennials in the Filipino culture.
I'm from Guatemala. There are very few Guatemalans who are college university educated within the country, so a lot of them go to the working world at a very young age, and it's not an easy life. It's hard work, it's manual labor. A lot of them go to work on coffee farms, which is not easy work, but they do value the little things in life, and they take advantage of things whenever they arise, and we are very family oriented.
Cool, interesting, thanks.
Okay, so I'm speaking more from Canada because my parents were born outside. I was born here. So for something like a retail setting, what makes me buy is when the employees actually engage with you and have a conversation, and not make it just like a sale, and they actually talk about some other stuff. That stuff usually helps when it comes to making me buy a product.
That's a good point.
So I'm Jamaican Canadian. Percy, I like to address adults. We always say sir or madam. Can't call you by your first name or not at all. So that's basically being Jamaican Canadian. I learned that through my culture. My mom, my parents calling people sir and madam.
Yeah, sure. You want to add?
Yeah, sure. So my dad's from Barbados, my mom's from Guyana. Respect's an important thing in our culture. We have to be respectful to everyone. I think the best way to reach people living in Canada and America is through influencers, I guess.
Good point.
Okay. Canadian millennials tend to pay extra money for products and services that are sold through small businesses, and 75% of millennial respondents would additionally support a local business by promoting them on social media because they value that social, online, and digital connection with the company.
Cool. Yes.
So Ukrainian millennials are really causing a huge shift in the country. Because they're starting to distance themselves from their Eastern counterparts who really favored the pro-Russian connection, and they prefer democracy and sort of a Western culture over the standard culture that used to be there. So you see a lot of similarities between them and the Western area of Europe.
Cool. You want to?
Sure. As much as Russian millennials try to adopt lots of traits of Western European and American millennials, there are still lots of connection, lots of influence from the USSR. For instance, Gen X from the USSR, they used to save a lot, but save for housing, for future life of next generations of their families. Whereas millennials right now in Russia, they try to save, but for more experiences, for travel, for different gadgets, this kind of thing.